TinTin03 says K. Colonel Doid says TBH shortest rendering distances are great for making climate. TinTin03 says it's recording. Colonel Doid says they're sleeping LOL. TinTin03 says go to sleep. TinTin03 says Facebook. Colonel Doid says LOL. TinTin03 says Facebook. Colonel Doid says Cumrid. TinTin03 says Facebook. Colonel Doid says I made a bow and a few arrows for you. TinTin03 says Facebook. Colonel Doid says have them. Colonel Doid says Facebook. TinTin03 says Facebook. Colonel Doid says Facebook. TinTin03 says Facebook. TinTin03 says Facebook. TinTin03 says Fat Spock. TinTin03 says Faspock. Colonel Doid says Fat Spock. Wait, what? TinTin03 says Fat Spock. Colonel Doid says LMAO. TinTin03 says Spork. Colonel Doid says let's don't laugh from Star Trek LMAO. TinTin03 says my dis is big. Colonel Doid says my dick. TinTin03 says your mom guy. Colonel Doid says Yugi M8. TinTin03 says M8 M9 M10. Colonel Doid says M14. TinTin03 says M16. Colonel Doid says speaking of which TinTin03 says M69. TinTin03 says loud bangs. TinTin03 says help. Colonel Doid says I was firing the M14. Colonel Doid says that's why. TinTin03 says Colonel Doid says shit. Colonel Doid says TinTin03 movie T who you yeah bunny. TinTin03 says help rape. Colonel Doid says hyper victim. TinTin03 says rape victim. Colonel Doid says at least the doggo is mine. Colonel Doid says bork bork. TinTin03 says fuck suck dick Nicola doggo is bork fork bark spark. TinTin03 says sporky. Colonel Doid says fart. TinTin03 says LMAO my dog is chasing you. Colonel Doid says he wants to attack me but he's friendly. TinTin03 says he jumps. Colonel Doid says he fun. Colonel Doid says heave some meat bork bork. TinTin03 says he protect he attack but most importantly he bork. Colonel Doid says he prick. Colonel Doid says he attack. Colonel Doid says but most importantly. TinTin03 says protection durex. Colonel Doid says he did. TinTin03 says he did what? Colonel Doid says he died. TinTin03 says you mom guy. Colonel Doid says your mom gi. TinTin03 says let's go. Colonel Doid says dude. TinTin03 says what? Colonel Doid says how about if we'll just rape the village? TinTin03 says nah. TinTin03 says zombies will rape him. Colonel Doid says dude. Colonel Doid says now why I have such issues. TinTin03 says no my dogo. Colonel Doid says because of those fucks in mobs. TinTin03 says LMAO. TinTin03 says put peaceful then. TinTin03 says LMAO my hunger went up. TinTin03 says dude. TinTin03 says fix the lag. Colonel Doid says that'll do. TinTin03 says I'm a British Nazi. Colonel Doid says I thought I was identifying as a Brit. Colonel Doid says LOL. TinTin03 says Ome Wamu Shindayu. TinTin03 says yo. TinTin03 says where shall we go? Colonel Doid says it LOL. TinTin03 says you far. TinTin03 says come to that swamp. TinTin03 says TWTF you flying. Colonel Doid says are you? Colonel Doid says LOL. TinTin03 says LMAO spooked me. TinTin03 says BRB. TinTin03 says back. Colonel Doid says WB. TinTin03 says LMAO I just recorded while I was AFK. Colonel Doid says LMAO. TinTin03 says TinTin03 says come in. Colonel Doid says never gets old. TinTin03 says fuck the police Act 47. Shit out of ammo. Reloading. 2. TinTin03 says LMAO that skeleton flying. TinTin03 says hope I won't see Shrek. Colonel Doid says checking if any of this would change performance LOL. TinTin03 says LMAO world rendering fucked up. Colonel Doid says Goy. Colonel Doid says Vanilla Village. TinTin03 says what a long ass swamp. Colonel Doid says you want me to teleport you to me. Colonel Doid says don't you. Colonel Doid says oi how many gunpowder you have. Colonel Doid says take mine. TinTin03 says why. Colonel Doid says because I have to carry materials lol. TinTin03 says let's make a backpack. Colonel Doid says it if that'd be possible. Colonel Doid says but don't worry, I have JEI. TinTin03 says found armor. Colonel Doid says I'm an engineer. TinTin03 says what do we require for backpack? Colonel Doid says definitely leather. TinTin03 says K. TinTin03 says let's go kill some moo. Colonel Doid says great performance now. Colonel Doid says despite the lack of mobs. Colonel Doid says, but I don't think it'd actually ruin our experience, lol. TinTin03 says, get in bed. Colonel Doid says, requesting crafting table. TinTin03 says, I made beds. TinTin03 says, and I have a crafting table. TinTin03 says, right next to B. TinTin03 says D. Colonel Doid says, fuck no. TinTin03 says, XD. Colonel Doid says, XDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDD. TinTin03 says, dick. Colonel Doid says, shit. TinTin03 says, wait, fuck me too. Colonel Doid says, no. Colonel Doid says, I'm a hetero, stop. Colonel Doid says, I feel offended. TinTin03 says, LMAO. TinTin03 says, LMAO, inventory full. Colonel Doid says, should I spawn that backpack, LMAO? TinTin03 says, how much leather do we need? Colonel Doid says, literally like a chest. Colonel Doid says, so 8 I guess. TinTin03 says, scorer. TinTin03 says, WTF. Colonel Doid says, it's leather. Colonel Doid says, don't worry. TinTin03 says, how the fuck? TinTin03 says, do I make it? Colonel Doid says, LMAO. Colonel Doid says, we need wool. Colonel Doid says, and gold. Colonel Doid says, do you have gold, comrade? TinTin03 says, nope. Colonel Doid says, rip. Colonel Doid says at least we have armor and real workman's tools. Colonel Doid says, can I have some of that leather of yours? TinTin03 says it's actually your leather. Colonel Doid says I have 3 units. TinTin03 says wait. TinTin03 says I thought you said about rabbit leather. Colonel Doid says LMAO. Colonel Doid says normal 1. TinTin03 says I spawned the leather. TinTin03 says TinTin03 says where did the backpack go? Colonel Doid says it's on your back. TinTin03 says oh. TinTin03 says LOLLMAO. Colonel Doid says it also gives you protection like normal armor. Colonel Doid says thanks. TinTin03 says how to paint it. Colonel Doid says use any die on the crafting table or in inventory's crafting grid. Colonel Doid says I sound like Pearl, like a freaking genius. TinTin03 says how do I put my backpack in my inventory? Colonel Doid says hold on, let me try. Colonel Doid says you can't unless you set it somewhere in its settings. Colonel Doid says I mean. Colonel Doid says you can destroy it normally. Colonel Doid says but why would you pick up its rest? Colonel Doid says dude. Colonel Doid says I have an idea. TinTin03 says what? Colonel Doid says come higher. TinTin03 says oi. Colonel Doid says the name. Colonel Doid says of the weapon. Colonel Doid says get off my lawn. Colonel Doid says elm foul. TinTin03 says gimme ammo. TinTin03 says XD. Colonel Doid says LOL double kill what? TinTin03 says Ika. Colonel Doid says trigger discipline. Colonel Doid says never shoot people you don't want to shoot at. TinTin03 says kids don't try this at home. TinTin03 says Porn XD. Colonel Doid says LMAO. TinTin03 says sleep. Colonel Doid says LMAO. TinTin03 says LMAO. When I broke the backpack the first time it scared the shit out of me. Colonel Doid says I warned you about doing so. TinTin03 says LMAO. TinTin03 says 40 minutes of recording wasted. Colonel Doid says into chilling out. TinTin03 says LOL no. Colonel Doid says why LOL. TinTin03 says let's do something. TinTin03 says shit. Colonel Doid says LMAO. Colonel Doid says shall we purge the testificates comrade. TinTin03 says LMAO Ima stop the recording and start a new one and do something. TinTin03 says or NVM. TinTin03 says let just do something. Colonel Doid says can we just kill those bastards? TinTin03 says no. Colonel Doid says they overprice their stuff. TinTin03 says Ika. TinTin03 says Roo. TinTin03 says Kangaroo. TinTin03 says LMAO let's just start a Skyblock let's play. Colonel Doid says W0T. TinTin03 says K guys I'ma end the video here. TinTin03 says hope you enjoyed. Colonel Doid says as I purge the villagers. TinTin03 says LMAO. TinTin03 says LMAO we need smart moving mod. Colonel Doid says oh YK what? Colonel Doid says fuck this. Colonel Doid says oh yes. Colonel Doid says I turned off not griefing. Colonel Doid says INCOMING. Colonel Doid says what? Colonel Doid says oh. Colonel Doid says he can destroy buildings. Colonel Doid says WTH. TinTin03 says LMAO. Colonel Doid says I jumped. Colonel Doid says using the ammo. TinTin03 says gimme that too. Colonel Doid says reloading. Colonel Doid says here. Watch. Colonel Doid says the ting goes. TinTin03 says LMAO. TinTin03 says the village totally destroyed. Colonel Doid says LMAO poor villagers. Says Vietnam says XD. TinTin03 says LMAO 30 FPS. TinTin03 says WTF. Colonel Doid says what? TinTin03 says K stop. Colonel Doid says I'm stupid. Colonel Doid says maybe we should. TinTin03 says what if this was the last village? Colonel Doid says play on some RPG map. Colonel Doid says there are tons of other ones lol. TinTin03 says K. TinTin03 says sire guys.